I have a special message to the Namibian nation. I, as a member of the Economic Freedom Fighters, the message goes as follows. We, as the Namibian Economic Freedom Fighters, we are a militant group. We are a progressive political organization in that part of Africa. And we are a radical movement. Despite the deregistrations of Namibian Economic Freedom Fighters not to contest and to take part in the 2024 November upcoming elections, I urge the Namibian Economic Freedom Fighters members to remain calm in progressing to seek for political refuge in other political parties. Across the continent, the Economic Freedom Fighters have condemned the Namibian Electoral Committee for its actions against our whole political organization. Therefore, we want the corrupt Namibia Electoral Committee, the corrupt swap regime, and all its allied political parties for these actions. And we want them that day we will meet them in streets. Through strikes and protests that the Constitution gave to us, they will be met with perfect radical opposite move by the Namibian Economic Freedom Fight. Perhaps that will change the street of window forever. For there is not a way whereby the voice and the choice of our people taken away from them. It happens with a reason to sell out our people's human rights and replace them with the imperialistic puppet political group, those affiliated with self-interest. We are a progressive political organization that will continue to strive for the independent economics of the Namibians and of the Africans at large, through elections or not. We are a militant group that will fight military bases on our soils and establish our own military bases, secured for peace, security in Namibia or in Africa elsewhere. We are a radical movement, the voice of the vulnerable Africans, a radical voice yearning for a radical change. Either we die, but no surrender. We didn't and we will never compromise the true independence, freedom of the African and Africa as a continent. This is not the expressions of anger of us as the Namibian Economic Freedom Fighters, but it is the leading way forward for us. Because through legitimacy and legal ways, the whole justice systems of Namibia is corrupt. We may not win them by law, but we will not assure them comfort as long as our people are not getting what they deserve. Africa become a continent and a state of urgency, whereby all the institutions are led through or by corruption. Look at the Namibian Electoral Committee, ECOWAS, and the AU, the biggest bloc on the continent. Let me not forget about SWAPO. Under SWAPO regime, Namibia became a nation whereby society exposed and become an easy target of the cheap, fake products from China. But not only China, it's also from the globe, the Dutch, the Arab nations, the Indians, the Qataris. We live in a nation where the society is exposed to the modern slaveries. For instance, look at how much people who are working for the Indian companies in Namibia earn per month. We live in a nation whereby our society, most of the populations live under the massive life of poverty. And high unemployment rate due to the lack of ideas on how to industrialize on the minds of those old corrupt leaders who claim to be the leaders of the nation. We live in a nation where our people are exposed to the danger of all forms of the systems. Either it could be education, it could be healthy, it could be financial, and infrastructure itself. The so-called leaders, they don't trust their own system. That is how dangerous it is. We live in a nation whereby our society threatened to question and ask for accountability. Because the democracy we have in Namibia is a democracy that those who are in power have the right to eliminate, to silence, and take other people's life. For example, the mysterious death of Lazarus Kandala, the Fishlot scandals, the Caprivi Stream issues, and many more, including the murder of the struggle kids, those people whose parents has died and their blood has washed for the independent freedom of Namibia. But remember, they have sing a song, Namibia Geria Manguruka, Wana to him. We live in a nation whereby our society, led by thugs, criminals, betrayals, thefts, corrupt leaders, those people who put their first interest, but not of that of the nations. We live in a nation. Our nation is in the crisis of collapse, not even at the blink of collapse. We live in a nation where society is falling apart. We live in a nation where society is really falling apart, but not only society falling apart, where society falling apart from governance. We live in a nation whereby our society failed by so-called government that leads them. So I personally, the Pan-African Parliament need to discuss its intervene in Namibia itself as a state and in the 2024 upcoming election. I don't trust SADC, I don't trust African Union, I don't trust United Nations, because these are the institutions that compromise people of democracy, people of the Republic Democratic of Congo peace. They compromise peace to the people of Sudan and Somalia. These are the institutions that destabilize Libya, Haiti, Iraq, Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and many more. And still on the brink of the major destructive war with the Hamid Kingdom of the Northern Korea people. I never belonged to a Jewish family, or neither I related to one of them. But my prophecy is the 2024 November coming election in Namibia will never be fair and free election. Therefore, I urge all the progressive movement, all the progressive bloc, all the progressive organizations to start monitoring and watch closely, because this may lead to the destabilization of peace and security in that part of Africa. I thank you, Comrade Joss.
Leka!